go into tonight's Zoom, which you will learn two very, very important things. Number one, why do we need this device? And I don't use the word want or have. I use the word need. And later you'll find out why you need this device. Yeah. And you and your family need this device. And secondly, why this is going to be one of the most exciting business opportunities you would come across within the next 5, 10, even 20 years, because we are hitting the right moment in terms of the business. So some of you could be invited tonight to learn on the product. Some of you are here to learn about the product and also the business opportunity. We're going to go through two things, and you absorb all the information. If you have any questions, put in the chat box. But I assure you, if you were to pay attention to all the slides and all the information that we're going to share with you today, you'll be blown away. All right. So without further ado, we're going to be starting tonight's Zoom by showing you guys the corporate video of emGuarde. So this is an introduction video. It will give you guys an idea on what this is all about. It will give you guys an idea on what the emGuarde is all about. It is a great video. So it's about a minute long. So sit back and enjoy. And after this video, you'll get an idea what is emGuarde all about. And then we're going to go into the details. All right. Okay, let me just replay the video. Great. 1, 2, 3, go.
Your home is your sanctuary, a place of comfort, wellness, and security for your family. Today, we're using more digital and electronic devices. While they bring convenience and enjoyment, these devices also emit electromagnetic waves constantly during use. Invisible to our eyes, these electromagnetic waves affect the environment around us. As a result, we are exposed to these types of waves day in, day out. Introducing emGuarde, a patented technology by emGuarde. When turned on, emGuarde neutralizes the electromagnetic waves within 1 gigahertz, creating a defense zone of 8 meters. emGuarde harmonizes the environment around you, making it safe for you and your loved ones. Simply place it wherever it's needed and plug it into a dedicated USB port, whether you're on the go, at work, or in the comfort of your home. emGuarde is designed to integrate seamlessly in any situation. You can now enjoy the benefits of technology without worrying about any potential risks. Protect your family's health and well-being. Contact your emGuarde distributor today. emGuarde. Change your environment, change your life.
All right, so that is the introduction video. All right, so 1 second. Yep. Can I just see by some response in the chat box, who here already owns their emGuarde? Type emGuarde in the chat box. And who here you're getting benefits of using the emGuarde? You're sleeping better, you're getting better energy, you're feeling better after using the emGuarde. Type 1 in the chat box. So type emGuarde if you own it, type 1 if you're actually feeling benefits after using it, so that the people who are new can actually see. And by the way, for all of you guys who are new here, these are all, right, users, you know, people, these are unscripted. These are people that are using it and they're giving their feedback. Okay, so I have one with me. All right, where everywhere I go, in my room, my office, everywhere we go, we carry the emGuarde. So let me ask everybody a question here. Today, right, today, do we live in a world where technology and devices are reducing or increasing rapidly? Which one? Reducing or increasing? All right. Just now I mentioned, why do we really need emGuarde is because we are using more and more and more of these devices every single day. All right. And if we don't realize the potential harm that could come from these kind of devices of long-term usage, today is the time we get educated on it. Because once you learn about it, once I learn about it, my perspective on devices totally changed. I'm a person where I have an Apple Watch, I have the AirPods, I have my iPhone, I have my laptop everywhere. I got a power bank. Everything around me is all these electronic devices. But when I learn that there are a lot of emissions from these devices that is already proven and clinically proven to cause harm, health challenges to our body in the long-term exposure, I became very wary. And when I got to know about emGuarde, I immediately invested in the unit. All right. So today in this Zoom, I'm going to be talking about emGuarde Japan's latest patented technology, emGuarde. For some of you who are wondering, what does emGuarde stand for? EM stands for electromagnetic. Guard is guard, right? Protecting you from electromagnetic radiation. All right. So creating harmonious spaces around the world. All right. Now, if you're living in a village house where you are surrounded by trees, you don't use phone, you don't use technology, you probably don't need the emGuarde. But unfortunately, the fact that you are tuning into tonight's Zoom, which means you're exposed and you are surrounded by technology, there's no way you can escape technology today. Yeah, we're always in a radiation zone. Okay, so 20 years ago, even though we had phones and computers back then, but let's rewind the clock a little bit. How did we grow up 20 years, 30 years ago? You see, when I grew up as a kid, we didn't have all this technology, am I right? We didn't have all these iPad and all that stuff. We were playing outside in the rain, playing football, playing games, board games, bottle caps and stuff like that. So the newer generation of kids, all right, how are they growing up today? Now, I have a 1-year-old niece, and the moment you turn on your phone, the moment you turn on the TV, the moment you turn on your iPad, they start going towards all these devices. They are attracted towards it. Why? Because of the animation and the colors. Who here at home, you have young children or maybe your niece and nephew, they are just glued towards all these devices. Type 2 in the chat box. And question is, do you think if they spend a lot of time with these devices, no doubt they are there to enhance their learning, give them entertainment, but do you think there are also potential risks? Yeah? Do you think there are also potential risks? I believe we today, a lot of us recognize that there is risk to radiation. We shouldn't be putting our phone next to our head. We shouldn't be watching YouTube video without lights, and you'll spoil our eyes. Now, we know to a certain extent that these things are not so good for us if we use it for the long term. But in today's Zoom, you will learn exactly how bad it is. I believe a lot of people don't realize or not educated on exactly how bad it is. All right, so let's talk about that today and why emGuarde is so essential. All right, so when you go around the world today, people talk about all types of pollution, right? Water pollution. Now we have the Kangen water, air pollution, noise pollution. Now these things are in the past. People have been speaking about it. There are solutions to it. But today, if you go into lots of professors, a lot of doctors, even in Malaysia, outside of Malaysia, in Europe, in Canada, a lot of these doctors and professors and professionals, they're actually talking about another type of pollution, electromagnetic radiation pollution, pollution that is actually coming out of our devices. And it's so dangerous. Why? Because it is invisible. There's no smell. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't touch it. So there's no way of seeing that how bad our pollution of EMR is. EMR is short form for electromagnetic radiation. So you can't really see it. All right. But what if you can see it? Now, let's say today you go into your living room. Let's say, Gokhan, you're sitting in your living room, and all you see today is these white lines of radiation coming out from your devices, your television, your LED lights, your air conditioning, your air purifiers, and all this kind of stuff. Now, if you were to see these white lines in your living room, would you be able to sit in your living room at peace and watch television? I don't think so, right? So you may not even want to walk inside because you see all these white lines. But unfortunately, this is how it is. All right? It's just that we cannot see. All right? So what are our typical EM radiation sources? Now, let me get some response from the crowd. If this is how your living room looks like, right? If this is how your living room looks like, who here wouldn't dare to walk inside? Type 1 in the chat box. If you come home and this is all you see, scary. You wouldn't want to walk inside, right? I wouldn't. But we are doing it because we can't see it. Okay, I have a joke. Humans don't fear what they can't see, except if it's ghost. They can't see ghosts, but they still fear it. Right, that's the joke. All right, but radiation is invisible. So what are the typical EM radiation sources around us? All right, mobile phones. I believe today everybody is using smartphones, not dumb phones, but smartphones. But sometimes these smartphones, they bring a lot of radiation. All right, computers, sockets, Wi-Fi, microwave, air conditioning. All right, those of us who live in hot countries, warmer countries, when we are sleeping, we're on the air conditioning. When we are awake, we go to work. In the office, it's also air conditioning, right? So everywhere we go, we're also being bombarded by the radiation from the air conditioning, television, and also all these power lines. There are certain places in the residential area, office area, they have a lot of all these power lines, right? And it also emits a lot of radiation, right? So we're going to talk about something today. All right. Now, when we talk about radiation, right, there are two types of radiation, something called ionizing and non-ionizing. Now, in the wave of spectrum of radiation, ionizing are those things that has a very high frequency, like UV, like X-ray, like gamma ray. Now, if you're exposed to these kind of radiation, even in a short period of time, it does a lot of harm to the body. But the good thing is we're not exposed to these things regularly, right? Some people, when they go for X-ray in the hospital, it's only a short span of time. But today we're going to talk about the non-ionizing radiation, which we are exposed to every day, day in and day out. So let's look at, is this non-ionizing even dangerous? And if so, how dangerous? All right. So non-ionizing has a frequency between 3 megahertz all the way up to 1000 megahertz, or we call it 1 gigahertz. All right. Now, on the grand spectrum of the wave of spectrum, it is on the lower side. But actually 3 to 1000 megahertz is also considered on the higher side as well, because we're talking about megahertz, not hertz, yeah? So this includes all the stuff that I mentioned before, like your power line, your radio, your microwave, your infrared, your LED, your phone, your laptop, etc. So these are the things that we're exposed to every single day. All right. Now, why is the non-ionizing dangerous? Now, what we have found through our study and through our research is based on the FCC exposure limit. FCC stands for the Federal Communication Commission in the US. The human body actually absorbs radio frequency energy at some frequencies more effectively than others. All right. At the range of 30 to 300 megahertz. Now, when I saw this, I was like, hey, this 30 to 300 megahertz, it actually falls between the spectrum of non-ionizing, right? Because non-ionizing is 3 to 1000. And the FCC actually says that the body absorbs 30 to 300. And they say such energy of EM waves can cause damage to cells and DNA, leading to increased risk of cancer, mutations, and other health problems. All right. Now, this is from the FCC, and let me share with you the report. If you guys are interested, the link is down there. It's been published for a lot many years. It's more than 20 years, right? August 1997. You can see that OET Bulletin 65, and it says there in the report that is the range that the body absorbs.
Recording in progress.
Our body itself and our organs also has its own frequency. Now, this has caused us some, some concern. When the body absorbs 30 to 300 megahertz the most, and when you look at the frequency of the body organs, it is between 58 all the way up to 90. All right. Your brain frequency is 72 to 90. And this 72 to 90 is in between the 30 to 300, and it's also in between the 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz, which means all the radiation that's coming out from our devices could match the frequency of our organs, our brain, our heart, our liver, our pancreas, and etc. So what is the danger of that? The danger of that is when you have frequency that matches, it causes vibration. And vibration leads to something called a slowdown of your blood flow, or we call it the rouleau formation. Later, we're going to share with you a little bit more on that later by a doctor from Canada. But when we talk about this kind of frequency, we're talking about vibration. And why does vibration happen? Is because of something called the resonance theory. Now, I don't know if some of you have done this experiment before, but when you were to use a tuning fork, those of you who did physics in school, I did physics in school, there's something called a tuning fork. And tuning forks comes in different frequencies. You have 500 hertz, 400 hertz, 1000 hertz. Now, if you can see this, there's this looking like a physics teacher. He has a tuning fork on the left of the screen that is 512 hertz. And then he has another tuning fork that is 440 hertz with two ping pong balls next to it. So they are having different frequencies. Now, I'm going to play the video. So if you can see, when he hits the 512 hertz tuning fork, it doesn't do anything to the other tuning fork because it is of a different frequency. But when he hits another tuning fork that is 440 hertz, the same frequency, what happens? It causes vibration to the other tuning fork. They are not even touching each other. Are you guys seeing that? So when we talk about the resonance theory and the frequency of the body organs, this is what we're talking about. Can you imagine when we have devices around us that's actually emitting similar frequencies to our own body, our own heart, liver, pancreas, and our brain? That's why a lot of you who here, when you talk on the phone for a long time, right? You talk to your friend, you chit-chat or whatever on work, right? You talk with them for 15, 20 minutes, you get like heat on your ears. Anybody experienced that before, or even start sweating? Type 1 in the chat box if that happens to you. And then what do? You switch to the other side, right? Do you know what is happening? You're actually cooking you're actually cooking your brain. You're cooking your brain because it is actually emitting a lot of radio frequency energy, or we call it radiation, onto your face and your brain. All right, and then you switch the other side. You cook this side, you also cook this side. So we call it a medium well, yeah. So it's nice piece of steak. So that's what we're doing, and this is not just talk. WHO, I'm sure we all know who is WHO, World Health Organization. Now, when was this published? This was published in 31st May 2011, ladies and gentlemen. This was 12 whole years ago. In France, the WHO International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, has classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as possibly carcinogenic to humans based on an increased risk for glioma. And what is glioma? They further explain it is a malignant type of brain cancer associated with wireless phone use. Take a look at that. This is by the WHO. Yeah. And iPhone 14, if you were to go, those of you who are using iPhone, you can even go to your settings, your general, go under legal and regulatory, go under RF exposure. Even Apple themselves talks about RF energy. All right. And while I'm on this point, I'm going to talk about a news. And by the way, everything that we speak about today is for education purpose. Yeah. So this is not to attack anybody. This is not to defame anybody, but this is to educate. And I'm going to share a little bit about what happened today. Now, this was just a iPhone 12. Okay. What happened today? I hope you guys can see my screen. I'm not trying to get you guys to buy iPhone. Don't worry. Can you guys see my screen? My browser. Type 1 if you can see. Type 1 if you can see. Thank you. Thank you, YY. So if you were to look at the top stories today, okay, what do you see? Let's open the one by BBC. I read it just before this Zoom. Can you take a look? The iPhone 12. France threatens to ban sale over excessive radiation fears. Let's open the one by BBC. France halts iPhone 12 sales over radiation levels. When was it posted? Just an hour ago. Yeah. So when you have time after this Zoom, go and read about what has happened. And the French watchdog, which governs radio frequency, and they are potentially wanting to recall the iPhone 12 in the country as well. So this is a big news for Apple and for all of us who are using these devices every day. It is a concern for us, and this happened today, right? So it's huge news, and that's why I mentioned before that people need to know about radiation harm from our devices. People need to know about the emGuarde. Yeah. So a lot of people, when they say, I've been using these phones or this laptop or whatever for the last 10 years, I'm still around. But when they really look into the harm of it, there could be a lot of conditions, a lot of health challenges could be caused by devices. All right. So we don't know. So how do we actually measure how much radiation is actually coming out of our devices? Okay. Now in emGuarde, what the emGuarde users actually do, what we actually do is we use something called a detector, a radiation detector. Now, this detector, I have it with me here, and I'm going to do a live performance for you guys here, because nothing beats live, right? So I have the same detector you see on the screen, and you can also see in my video, yeah? So those of you who can see my video, I believe I'm spotlighted. So you can see I'm taking the same detector. Now, what this detector does is it measures the power intensity of your devices. All right, the power intensity. Now, the power intensity is measured in something called microwatts. Can you guys see here on the rainbow chart? There is a micro symbol and there's a W standing for watts. So that is the power intensity of the radiation. All right. Now, if this meter shows anywhere between 0 to 200, they classify it as slightly dangerous. 200 and above is already considered dangerous. 1,000 and to 1,005 is very dangerous. 1,005, 2,000 and above, they call it health hazard. All right, health hazard. Now, keyword, long-term exposure. Yeah, keyword is long-term exposure. So what are the symptoms of long exposure from all these EM radiation, from blue to red zone? Body pain, concentration problem, in serious cases, brain cancer, leukemia, memory losses, fatigue, dizziness, heart problem, infertility, headache, migraine. A lot of people, when they use phone, they get headache and migraine. Eye soreness, blindness, immune system, sleeping problem, which a lot of people suffer today. Can I just ask, who here you charge your phone in your room where you sleep at night? You charge your phone? Type me in the chat box, ME. Because I'm one of them. I like to charge my phone right next to where I sleep. I have a desk next to my bed. Because why? We use the phone after that, want to sleep, we just plug it into the charger and we go to sleep. So who here you charge your phone in your room? Type me in the chat box. Most of us, we do this, yeah? And don't think for a second, if you leave your phone, let's say a feet away, it doesn't affect you. If you were to do some research, radiation from phones affect you between 1 to 3 meters, not feet, meters. So it's very hard to escape, okay? Stress and anxiety problem, DNA mutation, even skin irritation and rashes. So you see, when you look at all these things, you'll be wondering, how come radiation can cause all of these things? Later, you'll find out why. All right. So let's do a live demo here. Now, my emGuarde is right next to me, but it is not plugged in. Yeah, you can see there's no wire. So I'm currently not protected for the sake of this presentation. So my emGuarde is not plugged in. I'm going to turn on the detector. Okay. Now, for those of you who can see my screen, what number do you see here? Just type it out in the chat box. My video screen. What number do you see? 0, right? Nil. So this ring right here is a very, very focused ring, which means it wants to actually tell you and indicate which are the devices around you that is actually emitting radiation. All right. So you have to actually point it towards a device for it to show any reading. So here I have my iPhone. I've been using this for a couple of years now. And I want you guys to see, when I put it near the ring, what number do you see, ladies and gentlemen? It's fluctuating, right? Oops. What do you see? 1008, 1009. Sometimes you will see even a number 1. Why do you see number 1? Because when this detector detects more than 2,000 microwatts, it just shows number 1. So it could be 2001, it could be 2002, it could be 2003, it could even be all the way up to 2,000 or 3,000 microwatts. Once again, let me put it right here. Can you see it's showing a number 1? Which means when this phone is turned on, and when I put it onto my face, what it's doing is it's actually blasting radiation onto my face. Yeah? So let's take a look at the laptop. Now this laptop, I don't know how to show you guys, but what I can do is, let me just show you guys. Okay, I'm going to tilt my screen, yeah? Sorry about my laptop, right as I'm doing the zoom. It's also showing. Okay, one second, let me just do something. How much is it showing, if those of you can see? My laptop, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 microwatts. This is coming out from your laptop. Thank you, Justin, very sharp, 1538. But it fluctuates, right? Because electronic devices, there are a lot of processors inside. So this is what is actually being emitted onto me now, and I'm not seeing anything, but it's actually coming to me. All right. So what does the emGuarde actually do? What does the emGuarde actually do? Okay. So right here, I'm going to use this detector. I'm going to put this phone right here. And as you can see, it is showing 1,800 to 1,900, right? So I'm going to put this down because I don't have an assistant with me. So I'm going to take on the emGuarde, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be plugging it in. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to plug my emGuarde in. Okay. So this is the emGuarde. Okay. I'm going to be plugging it in. Okay. And once you see the light is on, you are protected, right? There's an emGuarde logo here. So I'm going to leave this emGuarde here. It is turned on. Okay. And once I use my detector, okay, you guys can see a detector, and I put my phone behind the detector. As you can see, I'm sticking to the ring, yeah? What do you see, ladies and gentlemen? What do you see? Can you type out the reading on the chat box? Let me go a bit further so you guys can see. You can see I am sticking onto it, and the reading of the detector is 0. Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Samantha. Take a look at this. How about my laptop? How about my laptop? It's also showing 0. Yeah. So this is the power of the emGuarde. So when I saw this for the first time, I saw it a couple months ago, I was like, whoa, you mean there is a device by emGuarde that can actually do this? The answer is yes. Yeah. And I'm going to share with you guys two videos. Now, the first video is going to be about what do you call that? The high tension cable. So I want you guys to also understand that there are places where you can be staying. And this is actually an experiment done by one of our technical team. And you are able to see the video. Okay. So I'll let the video do the talking. All right. He narrates through the video.
This is where I used to live. And across the road, less than 100 meters, this is the high tension cable. Let me show you what I mean by very high density of electric field intensity. So currently, if you notice, right, when I turn on the detector, as you can see, the entire airspace around my house is 1500 microwatts. Now this direction is where the high tension cable is not behind the ring, so there is nothing there. But once I move the detector towards the high tension cable, if you notice, the reading is between 1800 microwatts to 2000 microwatts steadily.
Yeah. So guys, you can see that the tower is pretty far away from where he was standing. He is still reading 1008 to 1900 microwatts being blasted to those houses there. Yeah. So it's actually, this is what we call radiation again. All right. Now, how about those of you who actually spend a lot of time in your car? Now, who here you spend a lot of time in your car every day, at least 1 to 2 hours? Go to work, you know, and you drive, you get stuck in the jam. Okay. So if you're one of those people, type 1 in the chat box. Yeah, you get stuck. So I've recorded this video. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'll be also testing the radiation level in
Simon,
the car.
Where are you going?
Hey bro, I'm just heading out. But before I go out, I want to show you guys something really interesting. Are you one of those people that spends a couple hours a day in the car, stuck in the traffic jam or traveling long hours? And have you ever felt after spending a lot of time in your car, you feel headache, maybe you feel tiredness, or maybe you get some pains in your eyes? Now, this is not just because of the jam, it is also because that our cars are also emitting a lot of radiation onto our body, our brain, and our eyes. So let's take a look at this radiation detector. When I turn it on, all right, let's take a look at, is my car safe or not safe? Wow, take a look at that. My entire space in my car is actually emitting a ton of radiation. No wonder people get so stressed up, so tired after spending so much time in the car. So what I have here is the emGuarde by emGuarde, right? I placed one in my car, and I'm just gonna turn it on, and I just leave it, and let's test it now. Okay, let's test it now. Take a look at this. Once the emGuarde is on, I am totally protected by all the radiation emitted by my car, so that when I spend long hours or get stuck in the traffic jam every day going and coming back from work, I'm fully safe, stress-free, having peace of mind, and without any harmful effects on my body. All right, so choose emGuarde, protect yourself, protect your family, change your environment, change your life.
All right, so that is in the car. Yeah. So even in the car, we are not spared by radiation. Okay, so remember just now when we talk about all these now who here after you saw the amount of radiation coming out from all these everyday devices in our lives, who here you're starting to feel a little bit fearful that you didn't know before this it was so bad. You didn't know it was shooting out 2,000 1,800 microwatts onto your face, and it is considered dangerous, very dangerous, and health hazard. Who here you're learning this for the first time, and you're recognizing that there is harm from all these devices? Type 1 in the chat box. You see, most of us, we know it's bad, but we don't know how bad it is. Yeah, until we get educated on the subject. And if phones are so safe, why is the French government wanting Apple to recall the iPhones? Yeah, so there is something behind it, but it is up to us to make an educated decision to protect ourselves and to stay away from radiation. All right. So remember just now we spoke about how come these things can affect us biologically. Now, the whole emGuarde technology was actually developed based on the research of this doctor. Yeah, her name is Dr. Magda Havas. She's a Canadian and researcher and professor. Now, she researches and teaches in the areas of environmental and health effects of electromagnetic pollution. For short, she calls it electrosmoke. Yeah, her work focuses on biological effects of EM radiation. Now, what she has actually found is if you're exposed to computer, you can see there's a healthy red blood cell in a clean EMR environment, which means your red blood cells are actually going everywhere freely. It is flowing freely. In fact, there are some of our members that actually did this blood test themselves, and they actually tested their own blood, and they actually saw a difference. All right, later I'm going to share you a video as well. Now, 70 minutes after using computer, it actually turns into this kind of rouleau formation. Rouleau is a French word. It means that the red blood cells are actually all clogged up. So it's no good, because the more clogged up your blood is, the lesser the blood and oxygen circulation. Just 10 minutes of using mobile phone, you can see that the red blood cells are all clumped up together. So what are the symptoms of this, ladies and gentlemen? Poor circulation, low oxygen transport, reduced waste removal, headache, fatigue, all the stuff that we mentioned just now as well is because radiation from our devices has a potential to cause this rouleau formation. Yeah, so basically we're getting our blood clot. Okay, and the last study I want to share with you guys is done by an ophthalmologist in Taiwan. His name is Dr. Liu Renjie. Now, what he has done, he treats the eyes. Yeah, he treats people with eye issues. Now, you can see there are 3 stages of experiment he did. Now, what he did was he took 10 of his eye patients, all right, and he tested their blood flow of their eyeball. Now, the average blood flow of the eyeball of these 10 people before anything was done to them was 20.1 cm per second. So that's how fast the speed of the blood flow, right? 20.1. Now, the second stage, he got all of them to use their phones for 30 minutes, half an hour. All right, 30 minutes, half an hour. Now, what happened to the blood flow? Can you see? It dropped from 20.1 cm per second to 16.2. It's about a 20% drop in blood circulation of the eyeball. And if you ask any ophthalmologist or eye specialist, the lower your blood circulation in your eyes, the higher chance of it developing sicknesses or worse eyesight. Yeah. And the third stage is he turns on the emGuarde technology. The third stage. What happened to the circulation? It went from 16.2, all right, all the way up to 25.9. Yeah, it went from 16.2 all the way up to 25.9. Why? Because when you alleviate electromagnetic radiation in the environment, means your cells, your body, your red blood cells, your eyeball, your organs stop getting affected by the radiation. It goes back to original state. So some people may even ask me, Simon, how come 25.9? That is even higher than stage 1, 20.1, before they used the phone. Because once again, if you're living in a city, if you enter into any building, there is already radiation. Why? You have LED lights, you have air conditioning, you have computers, you have wiring. All these contributes to radiation. So there's not, you must go to a place that is totally without any devices to have a clean EMR environment. So that's why the third stage, blood circulation, is even higher than the first stage before they started using the phones. All right. So that's how the emGuarde actually works, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So the environment harmonizer, emGuarde is an environment harmonizer. harmonizing medium to high frequencies up to 1 gigahertz. Okay, so the emGuarde, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about the product now. It is an harmonizer, it is a defender, it defends your family, your loved ones against harmful invisible EM waves 24/7. Now, basically, this device, once you plug it in, like how I got plugged in now, you just leave it in your work desk or in your bedroom or in your office 24/7. You don't have to turn it off. The light will be on, and as long as the light is on, you are protected. All right, and it's low maintenance, quick, easy setup, and you can use it for a minimum of 5 years and beyond. And the emGuarde is very light. It's about 430 grams. All right, it's less than 1 pound. Yeah, so it's a very light device. You can carry it everywhere you go as well. Okay, and this is one of the most important questions people will ask. How is the coverage? It covers up to 8 meters, right? Designed to reduce negative effects of EM waves, ensuring a safe and harmonious environment. So 8 meters. Now, for those of you who are living in huge houses, you are living in a huge bungalow, a mansion, you need more than 1 emGuarde, let me tell you, because your house is more than 8 meters, right? Now, people also ask me, where do you put the emGuarde? Put the emGuarde within 8 meters of places that you spend the most time, right? Now, the kitchen, there is also radiation because you have your microwave, you have things like that as well. But if you don't spend so much time in your kitchen, it is more important for you to protect your living room, your bedroom, your office room first, right? So the customers themselves, you yourself, you have to make a decision where to put your emGuarde, and if you need to have more than 1 emGuarde. Personally, myself, I live in a 250 square meter apartment. I have 3 units. 3 units, yeah? So some of you may need to get more than 1 unit, depending on the size of your home, okay? So how does the emGuarde work, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, now when you turn on the emGuarde, what it does is it senses the EM radiation source. Now, EM radiation, for example, our phone, it requires a pathway. See, energy is all about pathway. It requires a pathway to affect us, our brain, our organs, as we mentioned just now, to cause rouleau formation and all these dizziness and headache and all that. Okay, now the pathway of energy, or we call it radiation or radio frequency energy, once the emGuarde senses the phone, it actually sends out. So this is the technology. When the emGuarde is turned on, it sends out what the inventor calls harmonics frequency. It sends out a harmonics frequency to actually break the pathway of the radiation source. So when you break the pathway of the radiation source, it has no pathway to get to you anymore. Energy can never be destroyed. It can only be deflected or diverted or transformed, right? So this is how the emGuarde actually works. So just imagine you have a highway. Yeah, those of you who are in Malaysia, you have federal highway. Now this highway, there's a lot of cars, and those cars represents the energy, the microwatts, right? The power intensity of the radiation. Now what happens is, now when the emGuarde is turned on, I'm slicing the highway into a few pieces. Now what happens? The cars can no longer pass through the highway because it has a hole, it's separated. But the cars are still there, but it cannot go onto the other side. That is how the emGuarde actually works. Yeah, harmonics technology, right? And so far in the market, Enagic's emGuarde is the only technology in the market that is able to show people with a detector that is able to protect us from radiation, and also with reports by compliance testing. This is in Shenzhen report, that on the left, this is the electric field intensity of a device showing that these are all the radiation. And once the emGuarde is turned on with the activation of harmonic frequency technology, you can see that the power is still there, but it is cut, right, into individual strands of frequency. Means it lost its pathway to get to you. That is how the emGuarde actually works. So you can see before, it is all like this, it's connected. After, it's sliced, which means the energy is trapped, it doesn't come to you. All right, so this is a lab report in Shenzhen. So this will be recorded. So later, if you want to refer back to this, you may also refer, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the emGuarde. Our company tagline is change your environment, change your life, because we firmly believe, if you really believe, not believe, it's not up to you to believe or not. Facts do not lie. All these news and articles and WHO do not lie. They are telling us that there is harm coming out from our devices. There are tools out there to measure that these devices are actually emitting radiation. And it is up to us, educated people, to look at the information that's presented to us and to make a decision. Now, if today in the market, there's a technology like emGuarde by emAgic that is able to give us an assurance to cut away with evidence all these harmful radiation from our life and to suppress it to a bare minimum, who here believes that this technology is essential for homes in Kuala Lumpur, in Singapore, or around the world to have? Who here believe that this technology is essential and people need it? Type 1 in the chat box. And who here, you yourself, you also want to get an emGuarde already? Type emGuarde in the chat box. Yeah? Because technology only gets more and more, right? There's no reducing. Okay? There's no reducing. And let me ask all of you, especially the guys in the room, who here, where do you put your phones when you go out? Where do you put your phone? Because guys, we don't have handbag, right? We don't have handbag. So where do we put our phones? Where do we put it? We put in our front pocket, right? And there's already research that show that if you put your phone, especially for men, even for women, in the front pocket, it also affects our reproductive organs. It's proof, all right? But we still do it, yeah? So now with emGuarde, you're able to protect yourself at home, in your office, in your car, to make sure that the places where you spend the most hours, you are protected, all right? So this is how the emGuarde actually works. If you got clarity from today's Zoom, if you've gotten value from today's Zoom, type 1 in the chat box. I hope I'm being able to communicate the value of emGuarde to you guys. Now, the retail price of the emGuarde is 6,620 ringgit. In fact, there are some other devices in the market from US and Germany that is double, triple, quadruple this price that claims to do anti-radiation as well. But so far, we have not been able to actually test it, yeah? So again, we're not here to talk down on any brands, but the emGuarde is actually one of the cheapest devices in the market today that is able to do such a thing. Yeah, you can do your research later on. Now, the emGuarde at 6,620 ringgit at the moment is only available in Malaysia. For all my overseas friends, you have to wait for the emGuarde to go to your respective branches in your countries for you to get an emGuarde. All right. So for all my Malaysian friends, the emGuarde, you can pay it by single payment. Or you can also do credit card installment up to 24 months. Yeah. So the credit card installment can go for 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. Now, if you're wondering about this installment, how does it work? It is absolutely interest-free, so you don't pay any interest. Now, if you go for 24 months, you're looking at 275 ringgit and 85 cents a month. Because there's no interest, how I got this number is 6620 divide 24. Okay. You get 275 ringgit and 85 cents a month. So question, today, we go outside, we go to work every day. I see people holding a Starbucks, you buy coffee every day, you buy juice every day. It's already 10, 12, 11, 15 ringgit. Now, if you look at this emGuarde technology, something that can do so much, a patented technology that can do so much, that costs less than 10 ringgit a day for 2 years to protect you, your loved ones and family from the harmfulness of radiation. Who here believe that the value of this emGuarde is tremendous? Less than a coffee a day for 2 years. All right. If you believe that less than a coffee a day is too much to pay for your family's health and wellness, I leave that up to you. But for me, as I mentioned to you, I bought 3 of these units. Yeah. It means I'm paying 18,000 ringgit. Yeah. It's almost 20,000 ringgit to protect my family. Because I believe that my family's health and wellness is worth more than 3 emGuarde. Would you guys agree with me? Yeah. So this is how you guys can get the emGuarde, and how you get the emGuarde is speak to the person that invited you to this Zoom today. Those of you have been invited. Get back to them, share with them, and they will guide you how to purchase your emGuarde. Our office in emAgic is in Mid Valley, in Kuala Lumpur, Mid Valley Boulevard offices. So feel free to drop by our office with the person that invited you. That's where you can also pick up the emGuarde. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any questions on the emGuarde, feel free to type it in the chat box. Try not to unmute the speaker because we want to keep time for today's Zoom meeting. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Me or myself or some of my team members would respond to you. Okay, so this is the emGuarde, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you can get involved. And now I'm going to go into the second segment. Okay, before I go into that, number one, who here believes that this emGuarde, right? If you have this emGuarde, you also want to share with your friends, right? You want to share with people that have young children at home, young adults just started their family and they have kids and they have these devices everywhere in their house. Now, who believes that this device, as a product, it has massive potential in the market because nobody knows about it yet. The word is yet. Nobody knows about it yet. And, all right, people need this device. Who here you see a huge market for the emGuarde? Type 8 in the chat box. 8 stands for prosperity, right? 8. Yeah. In Chinese, 8 is prosperity. Okay. It's huge potential, isn't it? Where the world is going this way, more devices, more phone, wireless this, wireless that, Oculus Rift, wireless, everything. And without thinking about consequences. Okay. And this is when emGuarde decides to launch the emGuarde. I believe the timing is spectacular. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to go into the business side of things. Now, today, you can take 2 pathways. Number one, you can buy the emGuarde from whoever they introduce you and enjoy the benefits of emGuarde, use it for the next 5 to 10 years. The second pathway you can take is you can own an emGuarde today at 275 ringgit or 6,620 ringgit, one-time payment, and you have access to become a distributor with emGuarde International. Now, let me introduce to you who is emGuarde International. emGuarde is founded in 1974 in Osaka, Japan. Now, the company has been around for a long time. They have been manufacturing their own medical device water ionizer machine for the last 49 years, global presence in 25 countries, and they are a member of the Direct Selling Association, and they are a top leader in the water industry, medical device, newly launched patented technology called the emGuarde. And the way we actually pay out profit sharing to our distributors, it is also patented, which means people can't copy it, and the company also don't simply change it. So it is one of the top growing companies in the whole world, and from Japan. Now, on the right, you can see there's a couple, lovely couple. He is none other than Mr. and Mrs. Oshiro. They are the founders of emGuarde. And Mr. Oshiro is already at 82 years old this year, and next year turning 83, and his company is also turning 50 years old. So as a business, as a company, emGuarde is huge. Yeah. So this is the emGuarde global map. They started in Japan in 1974 selling the Kangen machines. Okay. And since then, they have spread their wings across the entire world. Those of you who know about Kangen water machines, those of you who already own Kangen water machines, you will know that emGuarde is actually the manufacturer of the Kangen machines. And they have offices in 25 countries with 42 locations. Yeah. Myself and our team are the ones to open up the Malaysian, Indian, Dubai, and also the Nigerian office for the company. So the company is expanding every single year. They are huge in the US, they are huge in Canada, huge in Europe, and they are growing every year. And the great thing that we have is emGuarde is only available in Malaysia at the moment. So to all you Malaysians, Malaysia boleh, we are the first country to have this, all right, before any other country. So I feel very proud. That's why I always volunteer myself to be the speaker for these emGuarde sessions, because I believe it is our duty to be the first country that have it, to spread this across the world to help other people in emGuarde. Yeah. So for those of you who also want to spread this, please spread the emGuarde. We believe it will help the entire world. Okay. So how can you get involved into the business, ladies and gentlemen? Now, for you to be part of the business, all you need to do is to invest in 100 emGuardes. No, 1 emGuarde. Yeah. The company doesn't ask you to buy 100, 1,000, 10,000 pieces. No. You get yourself 1 emGuarde for your home, and that instantly gives you access to become a global distributor for the company. Yeah. So 1 emGuarde, 275 ringgit a month or 6,000 something. Okay. No monthly qualification. So there's nothing that the company gives to you that say you must hit certain quotas a month, unlike any other traditional or multi-level marketing businesses. You have to do so many kind of things. No stocking. You don't buy and sell. You are just taking stock. You are just taking the orders, and all the stocks is kept by the company in Mid Valley. No annual renewal, and all the sales are accumulative sales, which means all the sales that you and your team does is accumulated. Okay. International borderless sponsoring, which means you can actually sell this emGuarde in the future to anybody around the world. All right. So you are not bounded by your own domestic market. And it is a patented compensation plan. And what I love and what I'm so excited about emGuarde, it is an untapped market. People don't know about it yet. Now, let me ask you a question. In terms of business, do you want to do something where everybody is already doing? Let's say you want to sell a supplement, vitamin C. Hello, you can go to the pharmacy, there's vitamin C. Omega-3, you go to the pharmacy, there's omega-3. There's 1,000 people selling identical products. But emGuarde, only emGuarde has this. It is a patented technology. So which product do you want to sell? That is the question. All right. So I believe in selling something unique. And the great thing about emGuarde is they always have unique things. Yeah, that's why we're so blessed. Untapped market. All right. So once again, payment method. Your customers can pay single payment, credit card payment, or the e-payment as well. Okay. Now, how does it actually work, ladies and gentlemen? In the emGuarde business, you would have two types of sales. Okay, the first type is what we call your direct sales. So let's say Samantha, she gets excited with the emGuarde, she buys the emGuarde, and she goes out and share with all her friends, her own friends, and all of them buy the emGuarde through Samantha. That's what we call direct sales. Now, each and every one of Samantha's friends says that, oh wow, I've been sleeping better. Who here you sleep better with emGuarde? Type sleep in the chat box, but don't go to sleep now. The Zoom is not ended yet. All right, type sleep in the chat box if you are genuinely experiencing better sleep. I'm going to type it in because I'm one of them. Okay, if you're getting better sleep after emGuarde, type sleep in the chat box. Now, let's say Samantha has brought in her friends, they buy the emGuarde, they're sleeping better, they're feeling better, their fingers and their what don't heat up after using their phones, and they feel good. What they're going to do is they're also going to be bringing in their friends. All right, so this is what we call indirect sales. And the total of your direct plus indirect sales, we call it group sales. Group sales. So direct plus indirect is group sales. So emGuarde actually pays out many different types of commissions. Now, today we don't have time to go through all of it. We're going to go through the main commission. So once you guys understand this, later on when you attend more of our Zooms or more of our live trainings, you will find out more about the other commissions. So how does the 8A or 8-point commission work? This is the main commission we're going to talk about today. This is the patented commission compensation plan. Now, out of every emGuarde, this is how emGuarde does business. They don't spend money on marketing with advertising agency, billboards, or television, or hire a celebrity. What they do is they allocate a budget of 2,400 ringgit out of every emGuarde for the distributors like yourself and myself. So rather than paying all these advertising agency, they prefer to pay it back to the customers of emGuarde, the distributors of emGuarde, for us to go and market the product. Because it is through distributors' experiences we're able to market the emGuarde. Not putting it in a shelf, not putting it on TV, people won't buy. All right. So emGuarde allocates a budget of 2,400 ringgit, and it is further divided into 8 parts, or we call it 8As, where 1A is 300 ringgit Malaysia. So for some of our overseas friends, if you're wondering what is 2,400 ringgit in terms of US dollar, you just take the amount divided by 4.5. You get it US dollar. Okay. So 300 ringgit divided by 4.5, you will get US dollar. So let me just do a quick one for you guys. 300 divide 4.5. 1A is about 65 US dollars. Okay, so that's how it actually works. So how do you earn profit sharing, or we call it commission, in the emGuarde business? Okay, when you go out and market to your first two people, let's say it could be a brother, could be a sister, I'm sure they need it. When they get the first two emGuardes from you, this is what we call a 1A sale. A 1A sale means the company pay you 300 ringgit and 300 ringgit on your first two sales. Okay. Now, once you go up to 2A, once you're at 2A, you start to earn 600 ringgit on every sale, on your third direct sale onwards. So you see, emGuarde system is very simple. The more machine you sell, the more product you sell, the more the company pays out as direct sale commission. Okay, so it's performance-based. And once you hit 3A, now you hit 900 ringgit per machine. So how do you get to 3A? It says there, you have to achieve a minimum of 10 cumulative group sales. Now, cumulative means there is no time frame when you have to hit this 10. It could be 1 month, it could be 1 week, it could be 2 months. It depends on how fast you want to get there. And group sales means it is a total of your direct plus indirect sales. Okay? So when you and your team has about 10 group sales, the next direct sale you make is 3A, which means you're going to earn 900 ringgit Malaysia. Are you guys clear so far? Type 2 if you guys are clear on this. Because if you must be clear on the 3A before I go into the next and the next and the next. I want you guys to follow what I'm talking about. Yeah? If you're clear, type 1 in the chat box. Thank you very much. Okay? If you're not clear, put it in the chat box. We'll respond to you. Okay? So once you hit your 10, now imagine in your team, you have 10 group sales. Some are users, some are distributors, because remember, when they buy an emGuarde, they can already become a distributor. All they need to do is to pay 50 ringgit to the government to register as an independent distributor. They can start to sell the emGuarde. Yeah? Now, imagine you have 10 people in your team. If each of them just refer one more emGuarde, you're already at 20 cumulative group sales. And the next direct sale you do is a 4A sale, which means that brings you up to 4A commission on that sale, 1,200 ringgit Malaysia. Yeah? So the more cumulative group sales you have, the higher the direct sale commission. Okay. Now, once the 20 people brings in another 30 sales to make the total up to 50 under your group, your next direct sale is a 5A sale. 5A sale means every emGuarde that you sell, all right, company pays you a direct sale commission of 1,500 ringgit Malaysia, lei in German. At 5A level, if you were to sell 10 emGuardes in 1 month, the commission the company pays to you is 1,500 times 10. I'm talking about just your direct sales, not even your indirect sales yet. Yeah. So the money is huge as compared to the product. The product is only 6,000 something. The company is actually paying you 1,005 at 5A. And once you get to 6A, which is above 200 cumulative group sales of emGuarde, your next direct sale is 6A, which puts you at 1,800 ringgit Malaysia per sale. So if you were to sell 20 emGuardes, 30 emGuardes, you just take this number times 20 times 30 times 50 times 100. Don't forget, you can also target corporates and officers that needs it for the employees, right? And you could sell 50 emGuardes to one company. Yeah, a lot of people are already on that. There are distributors that are actually focusing on that as well. But let me tell you this, if you understand the Enagic business and the direct selling business, this business works when you find people to build this as a business and not just to buy the emGuarde. Yeah? Partners. Okay? So far so good. 6A, highest commission, 1,800 ringgit per machine. Okay? Now, I'm going to share with you guys the power of the 8-point system. Now, we believe in leveraging. Now, if you're in business, you have to leverage. Because if you don't leverage, you are self-employed, you are a salesperson. If you sell something, you make something. You don't sell something, you don't make something. Now, in Enagic, if you want to build this business successfully, you have to learn how to leverage the system. Now, I'm going to share with you, when you are to be building a team under you with emGuarde, this is the potential income, the potential of this business that can be coming your way. Now, just imagine you sell your first 3 emGuardes. Okay, so those of you who want to sign up today or tomorrow, yeah, you get back to the person that invited you. Next week itself, you sell your first 3. Tom, Alex, and Rose. Company pay you 300, 300, and 600 ringgit Malaysia. Now, just imagine the first guy that comes in, Tom, decides and wants to become a distributor as well. He tells you that, wow, I love this. I don't just want to buy, I also want to sell. And every time that Tom goes out to the market and sell to the people, all the customers that he brings into emGuarde, to Enagic, every single sale that Tom brings in, you get 300 ringgit of overriding commission as well. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Who here you love overriding commission? Type OC in the chat box. Overriding commission. You know what overriding commission is? Overriding commission is leverage. Overriding commission is leverage. Okay? If you don't have leverage in your business, it's not a business. You are self-employed. If you must be the person that makes the coffee, cooks the food in your restaurant, and if you're not there to make the coffee and cook the food and your restaurant has to close, that's not a business, that is self-employed. Now, we believe in leveraging. And take a look at this. Every unit that comes under Tom is 300 ringgit. Okay? Now, what's going to happen after that? Yeah, what's going to happen after that? Thanks for your response, guys. The more response you give me, the more I think that I'm talking to real people. You know, Zoom, sometimes you end up talking to the computer, but I'm actually talking to 85 of you guys. Yeah? So, thanks for the response. Now, once you get to 2A, now, first of all, when you get to 2A, you make 600 ringgit, right? Because it's your third customer and beyond. Now, this lady Kim comes to you and said that, wow, Eileen, I want to also become a distributor. I want to sell the emGuarde. And Kim goes out to sell to, let's say, Ali, Abu, and Ani. Now, what happens when she sells to these 3 people? Because in the system, Kim is registered under your 2A line. We call it 2A line, which means when you sold to her in the system, Kim is under your 2A. Every time Kim sells, guess what? The company actually pays you overriding commission of 600, 600, and 600. Are you guys seeing that? It is doubling compared to Tom and Alex. So those of you who are fast in calculation, you want to put people on your 2A and above, right? You want to quickly get to 2A and 3A because you make a lot more money, right? Okay. So this is actually how it works. And let's say once you achieve 3A, okay, after 10 group sales, you bring in May. May buys the emGuarde from you, 900 ringgit, right? What if May goes out and sell 10 units in September? How much does the company pay you in overriding? It is 900 ringgit times 10, 9,000. And the good news is, you don't have only one person selling the emGuarde. If you're serious about the business, you will bring in 10, 20, 30, 40 people actively selling the emGuarde. And each of them is selling even 5 units a month Just imagine the number. It all depends on how hard you work. Okay, so the compensation plan is limitless because it is about how many people you can bring in. All right, so all these sales under you, ladies and gentlemen, you keep on getting 600 ringgit of overriding until a certain level. Because remember, every emGuarde, the company sets aside 2,400 ringgit as the payout. Nothing more, nothing less. All right. This is what I love about emAgic. They're a Japanese company, and what I love about the Japanese is they're very straight. They tell you exactly where the money goes to, and I love their simplicity. Yeah. So let's say Dawn buys an emGuarde. Okay. Now from Dawn's emGuarde, the company has a budget of 2,400 ringgit divided into 8 points, right? So the first person that gets paid a commission is the person that brought him in. He's upline. John will get the first commission, which is 1A, because John has just sold his first emGuarde. So he gets 1 out of 8 points. Now, the person above John is Bob. Bob gets 2 out of 8 points because John is under his 2A line, remember? So Bob will get 2. Ani also gets 2. Kim also gets 2. So if you look at these 4 blue circles, if you add them up, how much do you get? You get 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. You get 7 out of the 8 points paid to these 4 people below you. So when 7 out of 8 is paid to these 4 people below you, you still have a balance of 1 point or 1A to flow up to you on the top, which means for Don's machine that is all the way down there, you still earn 300 ringgit Malaysia. Not bad, right? This is somebody that you may not even know, and you still get paid. This is the power of the emAgic system and the 8-point commission. Okay? So when John brings in the second sale, you make another 300 ringgit. But when John does the third sale to Dan, now when he does the third sale to Dan, he now makes 2A commission because he ranks up, right? Or in Malay, we call it 9 pangkat, right? He gets a promotion. He gets to 2A. So he gets 2A commission, Bob gets 2A, Ani gets 2A, Kim gets 2A. So the entire 2,400 ringgit or the 8-point commission has already been distributed among these 4 team members below you. So only when this happens, this is what we call a non-8A sale. And a non-8A sale do not count as group sale. Now, when I saw this for the first time, I was like, oh, yo, no 0. Nobody likes 0, right? I like 0, but you must put a number in front, 1 or 2 or 3, right? So as many 0 as possible is fine. But when I saw this, I saw it with a positive cap on because I've seen many of these multi-level marketings and all these things out there, and they make it so confusing. You don't even know where the money is going to. And most of them, they simply create their compensation plan and they change and they change and they change. Now, what I see with emAgic is this same plan has been running for 29 years. Same plan, 29 years. And this way of paying out commission ensures that the company never under or overpay distributors, which means the company is going to be here for a very long time. In fact, company has already been around for 49 years. It's a very long time. It's because they know exactly how to remunerate the distributors. Okay, so what do we do? The question is, do you think Kim will stop at 3 direct sales after achieving all this success? No. Kim will continue bringing new customers. And if Kim keeps on bringing new customers, your overriding continues. Question, Ali, Abu, Bryce, Ben, Rose, Alex, can they also start selling? Answer is yes. So once they start selling, you also keep on getting commission. And the most important person in this business to continue to recruit new people into the business is you. Because after you achieve 20 group sales, you want to bring in Tony. Tony gets a unit from you. 1,200 ringgit is the commission. And if Tony goes out and sells 10 emGuardes in September, guess what? Company pays you 1,200 ringgit times 10 net commission, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about sales. We're not talking about gross profit or whatever. We're talking about net commission. Yeah, a business where you invest 275 ringgit a month or 6,620 ringgit one-time payment, for you to have a potential to earn such an income is incredible. Most businesses, you invest money into it, you spend money every month on it, you don't even get back what you invest. But in Kangen, in emGuarde, in emAgic, people get back their investment in a span of, some do it in a month, some do it in 3 months, 6 months, and then they start to make profit. This is the emAgic business. All right. And let's say after 50 group sales, you bring me in, I go crazy. I even bring this emGuarde overseas because that's what I do. I build my business outside of Malaysia. I go everywhere around the world. I spent the last 1 year in Nigeria to open up the market. There are people out there like me. And once you get them and they go out there and they start selling the emGuarde or other of emAgic products, you start earning 1,500 ringgit per emGuarde I sell. And let's say after 6A, you bring somebody like Sam, Mr. Sam Sear, Malaysia #1. And I believe that with emGuarde, there are a lot of people that was not in emGuarde will be part of emGuarde because of emGuarde. I'm already experiencing it in my own team. We are bringing in completely new people into the business and fired up to do the business. Okay, so this is how the overriding system works, ladies and gentlemen. So in emGuarde, now emGuarde has just been launched only in May 2023 this year. So you're talking about 3 odd months ago. And for those of you who have been waiting for your detector to go and start to do the demo, the company will be coming up with announcements very soon. And for the overseas people, emGuarde is already going to come your way sooner or later. So it is a huge market, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to consider this as a business, there is no better time to come into this business but now, because it is brand new. The world doesn't know about it yet. It's only 6,000 something ringgit. Do some research. There are a lot of these devices outside of emGuarde are selling for double, triple, quadruple the price. Go and do your own research. They're out there. And emGuarde is giving us an amazing opportunity to build a business. It is our second chance, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the emGuarde, ladies and gentlemen. So for those of you who want to get your emGuarde, what you're going to do is you're going to get back to the person that invited you to this Zoom, speak to them, get the emGuarde from them, and they will also share more on how to get your application set up. And this is how the business plan